Hello, it's ArchieLuxury here on the Marcus Allen Frishman Show. We are live. I'm just waiting for Marcus to arrive. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. What's going on with my friend? We'll see if we can get him on. We'll talk. Well, guys, we haven't had a show for the last 2 weeks because I was overseas. That's right, guys. I was overseas and we just decided to take a bit of a break there so I could enjoy a bit of a rest vacation. A bit of a poor secret. I was in Thailand. I was in Bangkok and it was, something. I went there to recapture days gone and it was, look, I had a nice break, but it is very different than the past. The glory days indeed. Not the same. Not the same. Um yes, just not the same. I don't know what you can say there. It's just things change. Things change and they nothing stays the same, does it, hey? Um it's things are different. Things are different. So, well, guys, what else can I say has happened since then? So I've come back. Um, I've come back, and I got to be honest with you. I'm quite enjoying life. The air's fresher here in Brisbane. It's having a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So it is good. It is good. It is good to be back. So let's see if we can get Marcus Allen Frishman on the show. Let's see if we can get him on there. I'll just double check what's going on. We got Chief Tit, first super chat for the night, $2. Wonderful. The world is back in its correct order. Yes, indeed. Now I'm just trying to see if we can prod Mr. Frishman himself there. Where is he? I'll just check. Um, I'll just see if he's coming on. Don't know what's happened there. What's going on here? I don't know. Oh, it could be daylight saving. I don't know what's happening today. We'll see. Maybe it's daylight saving. Maybe we fucked this up. I thought I was hoping he'd come on. We'll just see what happens there. We'll just check how he's going there. The world in its correct order. I'll just see. Let me give him a quick call. I'll just ring him quickly. I'll just see what he says. This is the great thing with live streams. We'll just see what he says. We'll just see. Yep, maybe it's... I don't know what's gone wrong there. Hello? No answer there. Hello? I'll just check what he says. Ring Edith, yes. I'll just check. Okay, he doesn't answer the phone. Okie dokie, guys. No worries. Oh, he's typing something to me. Whoops. See. Oh, see. Oh, sorry. Okay. 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 I'll end it. Come back in an hour. Come back. Oh, shit. What do we do? Okay. 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 Jeez. Look at that. Oops. He's just messaging me. Okay. In 20 minutes. Okie dokie. We'll get that going in 20 minutes. I'll run something here. That's what I'll do. I'll run the back from overseas. We're here, we're broadcasting, and we are bringing it to the people. We're bringing it to the people live, and we're trying our best here. So let's see what's going on, guys. So let's send a few invites out. What's Tan the man doing? Who else we got to invite? We got to get the dog trainer. Mark is always good. Mark is always a good guy. Goldberg, he's a lovely guy. Let's see what's going on there. Bear, I wished Bear well wishes yesterday. He was okay. Aussie expat. Yeah, I want to get him on. He's cool. Aussie expat. Very cool guy. Who else do we want on? I think that's the main culprits that we want. Who else do we really want there? That's the main culprits. We want them on. Yep. Who are the main culprits we want on the stream? We do. We want them. We want to get them on. That's what we want to do. We want them on. So what's going on in the world of watches? What's happening? Well, there's been some interesting press articles that have come out there. Let's have a look. What's going on here. Okay. Get plastic on. You out of your fucking mind, NATO? Get plastic on. Pay the piper. He can get fucked. The guy's an asshole. You're not for real, are you? The guy is total fucking asshole. Total fucking asshole. Why would I put him on? Fuck me dead. I don't know why I'd fucking get him on. Let's have a look here. What is happening in the watch collectible world here? Well, you know, I tell you one thing for sure. It's not the same as it used to be, is it, hey? What do you think? Things are different. They're very, very, very different. Things change. Some things stay the same. That's the way it goes. It is different. There's stuff that's good, stuff that's bad. Hey, it is what it is. Now, let's have a think there. Let's have a look. What have we got happening here? Let's have a look. What's going on in the watch world? What is new releases? Well, you know, the big problem is there's no money in the watch market anymore. So big makers, they're stepping back. They are really going to step back. Let's have a look. One of my favorites. I used to love Houdinki. You know, I used to love the Houdinki. He's gone a bit too commercial. I probably prefer monochrome. Monochrome. Let's have a look. What's monochrome saying today? What are they saying? 6 hours ago. Fuck, what the fuck is this? This looks like the new Van Gogh Black Hole Tourbillon in rose gold. Fuck me dead. What the hell is that? What else have we got? We got a Ferdinand Bethune. Look at that. Fuck me dead. That was 9 hours ago. What the hell is that? We've got another thing by Atelier. And we've got Perlo. Perlo makes that turbine watch. The new Perline. Okay, fair enough. Japanese. This is the Kudok. That's clever. A Bell and Ross. A new Zenith Defy Lapis Lazuli. Wow, that's with the blue. Fuck. Okay, let's have a look what else is. It's nothing really. Let's have a look. We've also got Frederick Constant celebrates 36th year anniversary. Holy fuck. It's a brand. It's going nowhere. What the fuck is this? This is a Superb de Bethune kind of 2 jumping GMTs. Fuck, that's a. What the fuck is that? Fucking hell. It flips. These things are fucking 190. What's that? 400 fucking thousand. Hello, Mr. Goldberg. How are you?
$1,000. Hello there, my friend.
Is your lens a bit blurry there? Just wipe your lens.
Well, I do exactly what Barbara Streisand does is, you know, you put Vaseline on the lens and then you look younger. That's how that works.
Yes.
Precisely. Super sticker.
Super sticker. I was going to ask you something. Here we go. Super sticker. Mark Paris, £3. Super sticker. First super chat of the night. And let's get back into this watch talk here. Oh, where's Mark? Wait. Sorry, what happened, Mark? I lost you. I don't know what happened there.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
I was just looking at some of these new releases at Monochrome.
Yes.
Fuck. What do you think of this Vanguard Black Hole Tourbillon? What do you think of that, Marky? That's you?
I feel like this is for somebody on an LSD trip, like, or under hypnosis. There's a lot of the fucking numbers all over this thing. This is for people who really have too much money and don't know what else to do with it. Don't you think?
I see. Yes.
And it's probably expensive. Like, how much is that stupid thing? Figure it out. Tell us the price, because that's the.
Okay. So that's really This is the thing. It looks cool, doesn't it? It looks cool. It looks like a kind of a maze. Like a,
Listen,
you could see. It looks like the tumbler in a lock system in a safe, doesn't it?
It does. Yes. Except for they cover that shit up with hard plate. Look, if this thing is like $350 as some kind of novelty,
holy fuck!
then
The
okay.
rose gold is 400,000 Swiss francs, Aussie dollars. That's over 800.
Yeah, it's like a $500,000 US. Look, this is for people who have outrageous amounts of money and are angry at it and prefer to like fuck it on something useless. Look, it's not even automatic. You have to wind the fucker. They can't even bother to do it for you. They can't even bother to do it for you. Come on, guys. Like, who buys a watch like this? Nobody. This is a special edition of one, and all they need is one moron.
Yes.
But I am not that moron. I am not that moron.
Exactly. I mean, who buys this shit there? I mean, is the people, what sort of car would they drive?
Oh, they have a driver, they have a chauffeur. I'm sure some kind of like some kind of crazy Bentley, like stretch, except for their car is like a McLaren. Like that's what they got it. Because you can't drive a car that's worth only, what, half of your watch? Your car has to be worth like 10 times more than your watch. So now they need a $4 million car.
Yes.
Like, what even is that?
It is exactly, isn't it?
Like, if you were going to spend $4 million on a car, like, what do you even buy? I don't even know what could you spend that much money on?
Exactly. What sort of car would you drive? A Bentley?
Well, I'm thinking he'd have a driver. Don't you think? Like, you don't drive yourself wearing this thing. Plus, you probably have your driver doubles as your security guard. It's probably armed. Like that Bentley is reinforced and it's got bulletproof glass and, bulletproof tires, like all that stuff.
Bulletproof. How much money do you need, Marky? Tell me this. How much money do you need to buy this garbage and not give a fuck?
Okay, well, let's figure this out. Okay, so your watch costs, let's say $500,000. And your car, realistically speaking, costs $2 million. And or you got at least $2 million.
Do you really want a $2 million car? Come on, that's ridiculous.
Well, it's ridiculous to have a $500,000 watch, but we're working it through. We're back.
Did you own an airplane?
No, you own a share in a private jet. You own like a you bought shares.
Fractional ownership.
Yeah, right. So, because I mean, let's be honest, this is not a $1.5 million Richard Mille. That's not what this is. So, okay, I don't know. Let's see. I feel like a guy who owns this watch.
Know something? I met a guy who owned a fractional share in a jet, right?
Yeah. Did he fly anywhere?
And he basically said to me, it's $10,000 an hour to go anywhere. That's what it costs him.
Well, you got fuel, insurance, pilots.
Yep.
All that, plus your share. I don't know. I figure a guy who buys this watch, Archie, has got a net worth of like $40 million. This is your own percent of your net worth in this watch. Yes.
I see what you're saying.
Yes.
1% of your net worth. Do you even like it?
No. I do not even like it.
This reminds me of a movie called Bad Company. Do you remember the 1970s cowboy movie called Bad Company?
I'm not sure I do. It sounds familiar, though. What? Tell us. Remind us.
It's about some deserters from the Civil War. They dodged the draft.
There was definitely a draft during the Civil War. Matter of fact, people were emigrating to the United States at that time, and they would step off the boats at the docks in New York and literally be clapped in iron.
Okay, guys, we've got Marcus is coming back on board. Let's get him on. Let's get the show on the road. Super chat, Chief Tit, $2. Wonderful, the world is back in its correct order. And Birbinghard, $2. Thoughts on the new Amiga Planet Ocean and brand direction? Oh, fuck. Man, Amiga's gone nuts. They've gone bonkers for a long time. Keep putting the prices up. I mean, I love the stuff. I love the new Planet Oceans. I do like them. Fuck, they're expensive. Man, they got Rolex Dreams. That's what I can say. Rolex Dreams. Now, let's see if we can get... I'm just trying to link to my friend Marcus. Is he coming on? See if we can come on. Just jump on, Marcus. Just jump on. See what happens here. See what happens here. Let's see what happens. Let's go on. Is he jumping on? Is he jumping on? Is he jumping on? I don't know what he's doing. What's he doing? Marcus, what are you doing, man? We don't know what he's doing. We'll just wait and see. I don't know what he's doing. Hey guys, what can I say? I'm just trying to get Marcus. I don't know what's happening here today. I don't know what's going on. Where's he gone? I don't know where's he gone. Oh, he's here now. Marcus Allen Frishman. Sorry about the mix-up. It's okay. Doesn't matter. Oh, we can't hear you. I can't hear you, Marcus. I can not hear you. Nothing. Can't hear you, Marcus. Nope. Cannot hear you. I can't hear you, Marcus. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong here, Marcus. We've had a few fuck-ups today, but it's okay because we're here. We don't get upset. We just be cool about things. You got to be... Marcus, I can't hear a damn thing you're saying. Stop. Nothing. He's coming. He's rebooting. Let's run an ad.
Come and get it! 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 You won't regret it in 2022 at Tip Top Snack Bar!
Hello. We're back. Hello, Marcus. I missed you.
I missed you too.
So sorry. So you now have daylight saving because my time, we don't have daylight saving in my part of the world.
America decides what time it is, and the national government has said change your time. So we do twice a year in America, 1 hour forward, 1 hour back. There is a bill to make that permanent, meaning 1 hour forward, more light at night, but that's pending. Richard Nixon did it. The great president, Richard Nixon, said, we're going to change the time, notwithstanding what the world says and the universe. I'm Marcus Frishman, Archie, and you know what? You're not.
Hey, that is it. Talk to me. What has happened since I've been away? What have you been up to, my friend?
Oh, well, a lot has happened. So while we're warming up to guests coming in, I'll tell you. So I got a very terrible pain in the tooth. You know, I have the perfect set of teeth.
Yes.
Not so perfect though, because I had to get a. Oh, it was bad. What do you call it?
Root canal?
Thank you. A root canal. Archie always fills in the blanks. A root canal, which was terrible. And then in the midst of this recovery, within a day, I had a minor lung infection. But the antibiotics from the root canal cleared that. And the reluctant pain medication I took made me feel great. And then I did something I haven't told anyone about. I kept it a secret. I moved. I am renting out my 12-room, 4-bedroom, 3-bath home in a beautiful suburb gated community in Los Angeles. I'm going to rent it out. It's in process. And I moved to a small 5-room, 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment near the beach. Now, not on the beach, it's near the beach. And it's out of Los Angeles in a county called Ventura County, as opposed to Los Angeles County, and which is a much better place for people like me and my like. And it's not a suburban community, it's a rural community. Within 30 minutes of the edge of Los Angeles quickly becomes beautiful farmlands and some upscale and not so upscale communities. And it's called Camarillo. And while I won't say exactly where I am for security purposes, it's the lovely city of Camarillo in the county of Ventura County in Southern California, adjacent to Los Angeles County and city. I'm about 15 minutes before entering again LA County, Los Angeles County. So I am near a beach, and it's just fabulous. And it all gets paid for by the rental of my home, and then some. So I'll be ahead, which is always good to be ahead. Why would I give up the home otherwise? And besides, it was time to go to the beach. The weather is not conducive right now. We have entered winter. And we've just started.
So you are in the rental. Which place are you in now? This place is your.
I'm in right now. I'm in the rental. Oh, and I'll explain why I now have no background. We didn't know why the background wouldn't remove.
Yeah, that's right.
When I was setting up my computer here and making sure everything was working perfectly and really devoting time, there is on an iMac in the upper right corner. I can see it now. When you're doing a video call in any genre, in any app, notwithstanding the app software, whatever that app is, you use StreamYard, there could be Facebook calls, it could be WhatsApp calls. Notwithstanding those processes, there's a green icon that shows up at the top on my computer outside of our app connection page. And I clicked it. And the moment I clicked it, it allowed me to override. Essentially, it's an override to any settings in the app. So to make a long story short, that cleared my background. So immediately, because that background was not only. So
it was an Apple thing. It's an iMac thing.
Apple, yeah, it was an Apple.
See, I use PCs.
Well, I gave those up and I bought a Apple desktop. They call it an iMac. Of course, I have an Apple iPhone. I have an Apple iPad. So it all links. If I take a picture on this little phone, or I make a note, or I use any app, it immediately replicates itself immediately, instantly on my iPad, on my computer. If I write a letter on my computer,
a leading divorce attorney said Apple has been the leading cause of divorce in America.
Well, that's another subject, and it may be right because it allows
sending sexy pictures to their mistress, and they forgot that they also use the same Apple account to set up their kids' iPad.
So as you can see, I have paintings that are not yet in the corner there, that are not yet
Yes, I
hung.
see.
I have a little sloppy counter. I'm facing my kitchen, but you know, I'm doing the best I can here, getting unloaded and unpacked, and I've been really blessed because when I did this move, I contacted the movers, which was an old client of mine, and I said, "Hey, I need to have you help me move. I'm going to hire you." You know, they had been hiring me.
How many kilometers did you move?
36 miles. I know because I go back to the house to pick up things. I'm 36 miles away from the house, and that.
Did you get rid of the old BMW yet?
No, it's still parked at the house because I don't actually have. This is an apartment I'm renting, right? The house I own, and there's no mortgage on it. So I'm going to rent it out. The BMW I'll figure out. It's in the garage. I have two separate garages. My motorcycle's there. You know, I brought what I needed. My bicycle. I brought a lot of furniture.
You've downsized a lot.
I downsized massively. Yeah, a massive downside. But
what
that's
makes
okay.
you want to do that? Why would you do that if you own the house?
Oh, because, well, Archie, I wanted a change, and we're not getting any younger. I would like to exit California, so I think the change is kind of a transition. Also, I'm near the beach. I was not near the beach. I was without traffic. You know, I'm an hour and a half from the beach where I was at. I love the beach. Now, I've only driven by the beach since I've been here.
We can't wait with bated breath to have the next vampire sequel you'll be starring in.
Oh, yes. The beach. What the hell was it called? What was my movie called? I was a movie star. What the hell was it? The theme song was Beach Blanket Bingo. Famous Angeline was in the movie. Frankie Valli was in the movie. Is that right? And it was Malibu Beach Vampires. What's more entertaining than the movie is reading the reviews, if you've ever read them.
Chief Tit, $2. Where was the Chinatown film setting in California?
Well, it would have been Los Angeles, I think. I can't remember. I remember the film and I've seen it. It would have been Los Angeles. I mean, is he? I don't remember the film per se. Was it filmed in Chinatown? I don't think so. Chinatown, if anyone cares, is a small town in Los Angeles. We have little towns that they're fake towns. They're in the city of Los Angeles. There's Chinatown. There's Philippine Town. There's Koreatown. There's Bangladesh Town. They all have these little towns.
Yes, sir.
I think that was a proper answer to the question. I'm sorry, Chief Tit. We're going to have to look that one up, I guess.
100% right.
But Archie, how was your trip, Archie? You went to Asia, and you didn't go to Philippines yet. I keep pushing, but where did you go?
Yeah, look, it was a good trip, but I got to tell you, sometimes you go back to relive old memories. It's changed a lot.
Oh, yeah. And I think, Archie, since 2003, some observation I've made is the Philippine women are getting fatter.
Oh, yes. Actually, I must say the food in Thailand is much more oily than I remember. Yes, 100% right.
I got there in 2003, and 4 months a year since then, with the exception of from 22 forward, when I stopped returning to the Philippines, despite having the condo there. And I sold, I don't know if I updated you, I sold the condo that my client bought me. I sold and we split the proceeds. And my condo is still in Eastwood City. I intend to sell it. And I don't think I'll ever buy anything else in the Philippines, but I think I will return and I will rent. But you notice the women are getting fatter. Why is that?
Oh, I think it's the Western world influences the in the past, the food was always a bit fatty, but they had smaller servings. Now, as you know, it's like anything. I think the food, if without education on food and that, there, it's very easy not to realize these things are bad for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, they love the KFC there and the McDonald's.
Oh, Thailand does too, and that's probably the worst food to eat. Fried.
It is delicious though. That
Oh, of
KFC,
course, it's delicious.
and it's better. The fries are the old fries from America that, you know, we don't allow them to make the fries the same way anymore because they don't use lard in America, but they do in the Philippines. You know, there's Black Cat 997. My movie that I was in was not funded by the mob. There was a director called Francis Creighton Filatico. He wanted to be called Creighton Francis, you know. And he was a friend of mine in politics. He was older than me. He wanted me to be a model, and he helped me do that along with my mother pushing me. And for 2 years, I was a professional model. I did well. He did this movie himself. He funded it himself. He was a school teacher by profession and a political consultant. He did some politics, and he died tragically in about 2004. I had invited him to a fundraiser for my boss in Bel Air, California. The fundraiser was called Friends of Marcus. And it was just my friends for my boss. We raised a lot of money that night. And Creighton Francis Filatico was scheduled to be at the event. He was a very close friend from childhood. And he died of a massive heart attack and he had no known condition, in his apartment alone in Hollywood. He had appointed me to the Hollywood High Advisory Council. I served on the advisory council because he was in charge of that. And he just made movies and plays and put me in that one as the star. I played Congressman Terry Upstark. I got bit by vampires who, once you're bit by a vampire, you would tell the truth. And my character was a mirror image of the congressman who was caught philandering with women, he was running for president. What was his name? Gary Hart. And he was running for president. He challenged reporters in real life, to follow him. He's not a scandalous man. They did. And they found him, he was a married man. They found him scandalous on a boat called, of all things, Hanky Panky. And they got video, and that was his demise in those days. And Creighton did a movie.
Remember Dukakis as well?
Dukakis, he was a Democrat. He was more of a straight, normal liberal guy. Boy, the good old days, normal liberals. But back to the movie. So there was, you remember Jim and Tammy Baker?
Yes. Yes.
Well, in the movie, Creighton wrote the script and called them Jim and Tammy Faker. Right?
Yes.
Then there was Oliver North. You remember Oliver North scandal?
Yes, the Iran-Contra affair.
Okay, so this was Oliver West, and in the movie, so it was all these characters of real characters of the time, and I played the Congressman Terry Upstark, and I have a beautiful speech where I tell the truth, and it was really a pathetically bad movie. As I say, read the reviews, and they will.
Were they happy with it? Like when they produced it? Were they happy with the movie? Did they say this has got potential, or how did they feel about it?
Let's just say Creighton wound up selling it overseas. As I heard the story, I never was paid a penny. He sold it overseas for some minor amount of money, and it gets played regularly. There is a convention in San Diego, California, where they play all the bad movies, you know, and it gets top rating. And there's a site you can go to. I think it's that very well-known movie site, and it has these terrible reviews. I mean, because the movie is bad. It was fun. We did, you know, I just did what I was told.
What did your parents think of this movie? Can I ask you that?
Well, my father used to call Creighton High Pockets because he wore his pants so high, but they loved Creighton Francis Filatico. And he lived in Hidden Hills, an extremely wealthy community. He died. He has 2 brothers. One of them.
Okay, let's just have a look at some of these reviews here.
Oh yeah, there you go.
What in the hell? Move over, Manos. Back off, Boo Gens. It doesn't take a baby genius to know that Malibu Beach Vampire MBF is the worst film ever. The only horror in this movie is watching it. I wonder if this was an attempt for someone to meet babes by casting a movie. If this was the case, the babes aren't babes, just like this ain't a movie. It's Drek. No, wait. I dishonor the word Drek by calling it Drek. Yuli Lomanel of Boogeyman fame would call it Uber Drek. It should be used to torture prisoners. If I find it on the shelf in a video store, back away from it quietly and notify the authorities.
I have a secret. I have
Are you
never
proud
watched,
of this work you were involved in?
I have never watched the movie in its actual entirety. I have watched the beginning. I have forwarded to some key scenes that my friend, counted the time frames and sent them to me in edited fashion, and I posted it on my Facebook as certain key scene. I posted it on my Facebook as a tagged, what do they call it? A tagged location. So it's always at the top, just for fun, because I think it's hysterical. Keep reading. Do you see another good review? There's a better one than that. The guy that wants you to blow your brains out, which would be more fun than watching the movie. I
mean, has this ever come up in your career?
Yes, once. So I ran. I'm a career politically appointed official. I've served at every level, and I ran California's largest agency.
Straight from the depths of hell.
Yeah,
is where I'm assuming this movie came from. I mean, I've watched plenty of B movies over the course of my young life so far, and I wouldn't even classify this as a B movie. I remember seeing films in my high school class that surpassed this one.
Archie, when you run for office, they lie about you. They just do, and people believe what people say. Yeah. They said I was in a porno movie. Now, that movie is not a porno. There's not even naked breasts. So it's not even R-rated. And but they did, in writing, in a local throwaway, among other lies, said
this is the review. Were I a weaker man, I most likely would have jammed grapefruit spoons into my eyes, then blindly flung myself to my death in oncoming traffic after watching this.
Yes, they are good, fabulous, entertaining reviews. It was terrible. It was a terrible.
Did you ever tell the director or the producer this movie is crap?
No. Creighton took it very seriously. He liked it. God rest his soul. He was a dear friend. I met him at the Young Republican meeting when I was 14. He was already graduated high school. We went to the same high school at different times. He dated Miss Young Republican. He was really, Creighton Francis Filatico is his birth name. He really was a fabulous man, a real gentleman, a very conservative guy, a little whacked out in the head, a little. And his brother Jay takes me to lunch now and then. He really was a good man. But the movie is well, I didn't know how, it looked. I just showed up to a set or the beach and we filmed. And you don't know how it's going to be edited. And the shocking thing at the end, when I did watch part of it, I thought, what are all these dancing scenes have to do with it? There's all these choreographed dancers that I never met and saw. I met all the other actors. And they just pops up, and for no reason at all, there's a dancing scene. He did get some good reviews on plays he did in Los Angeles, very small playhouses where he wrote the play, produced the actors. Sadly, I never saw any of them. I was working like a dog in politics at that time, and so I could never go. Busy, every night going to some cocktail party or something, as opposed to sing Creighton's play. But he did get, you know, some good reviews there. And you know, what can I tell you? It was fun. And the professional modeling, he and my mother, they both ganged up on me to do modeling. And I made a good living. Well, I call it a living. You know, I was supported by my family. But I made a chunk of money. I think I made about $60,000 over 2 years at $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000 a day that I was paid. But only one of my photos, ever got published. So you get paid to do the shoot, and they might have 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 other guys putting, and I did clothing, commercial fashion modeling in a photograph, and then somebody would pick what picture they wanted to put in the catalogs. I only got picked once. That picture is in, I'm thinking, I know where it is in my old house. I brought it here, but I think it's not up yet. It's in a
I think
box.
you showed it to me. Yes, that was a nice.
Yeah. Now, who knows where it is? It's in a box. But that one photo, it was a De Laurentiis suit, a Perry Ellis shirt, and a Perry Ellis tie, as I remember. And I used that to promote myself among, you know, my fake artificial pictures that, you know, I took myself. And it was fun, but I didn't want to continue with that. It wasn't my style. Once I did ramp modeling, one ramp, you know, where you show up in a fashion show. I was very shy. I was uncomfortable. I did it because the designer, some independent designer, Beverly Hills, wanted me there. Again, Creighton, Francis Velatico got that connection. You know, Francis, he got us into the Playboy Mansion. I've been to the Playboy Mansion 3 times. And
You've met Hugh Hefner?
I met him 3 times. Yeah.
What's he like? What was he like? He's died now.
You know, I don't. Well, all right. So I'll try not to describe what I think he was like from a public persona. Based on my experience at the parties and meeting him, I would say he was very shy. He was a recluse. Now that's contrary to how you know it, but he would stay in his dining room with a limited number of guests. I was not invited in the dining room, but he would come out, and I introduced myself. And by the second, he did have an uncanny memory. He remembered me the second time and the third time. And he allows all these people to roam around his house. See, here was the catch. So Hugh Hefner, here's what the catch was. Hugh Hefner created that house. Well, all right. So he was having significant financial problems at some point. It was at the time he sold the jet. You know, when you go down, the first thing to go is your jet. So he sold the Playboy jet. I don't know if he ever recovered that or not. Certainly he flew private at the end of his life. But the point is, he was having financial difficulties at some point. It was very early on in his career. So he created a structure for the house that it would be a foundation, a charitable foundation. To do that, you really have to open it up to the public. You can't have just VIPs there. There's certain statuses in tax law. So that's what he did. And he paid no property taxes or any other taxes on that home. And my events, oddly enough, were all connected to the Cedars-Sinai Hospital, whatever their entity foundation was, that put on events at his house and his you know, with his guests and their guests commingled. Now I was his guest at that event, and there were 3 events by the significant Los Angeles-based hospital called Cedars-Sinai, and it's significant. It may be the most significant hospital in all of California. And
This is the big bunny, the bunny jet. The bunny jet. By the way, that's the bunny jet there.
I was invited to the New Year's party. I never went. So that would have been the 4th party, because I got to know him and somehow got shuffled onto the private list. Of course, I was very active in politics, and he probably invited me due to my position as opposed to really who I was. And that's how I got the 4th invitation, and I did not avail of it. But he and I
I
have a
see.
lot.
What stopped you going? Can I ask you that?
What? Oh no, I don't remember. I know I didn't go, and I don't know.
What stopped
why.
you going to his?
The New Year's party? I don't remember. You know, I'm not.
Yeah.
I can't remember why, but I didn't go. Look. I'm not a party lover. If there's a reason to go, and I was paid to go to parties, you know, that's what I did for a living: parties and lunches. I still do that, lunches
Yeah.
and parties. I went to a fundraiser the other day for Senator Tony Strickland in Westlake Village at the former chairman of the Republican Party's home, named Frank Vesco. I haven't seen him in decades, and I went to that just before my tooth went bad a couple weeks ago. So I still go to these things, but very limited because I'm in the People's Republic of California. And let's just say I'm not invited to as many things as I should be anymore. So the politics is not the same. You know, where I come from, the days where Republicans and Democrats got along, did things together, agreed about a third of the time on everything, and compromised on the other half.
That's right, because you know sometimes even a Republican president chose ministers from the Democrats, didn't he?
Yes, in limited way. No, those days are over, and it was pre-Trump. I'd say Obama starts this wedge that develops in California in national politics, and that's it. It's just terrible in my view. It's
Who do
terrible.
you think the worst president we've ever seen is?
Joe Biden used to be. I would have said years ago, President Carter, but because he's universally viewed as a bad president by both sides, Democrat, Republican, although a very good man. And I'll tell you why he was viewed so badly. Not because he did bad stuff. He did a couple of good things. The famous Israeli peace treaty with the Arabs. There was a name for it. Forgive me for forgetting it right this second. Menachem Begin came to the White House. So that was a grand peace deal he did. But the reason he was viewed as the worst president ever, in our lifetime, we have to say our lifetime, multiple generations.
Told Americans they had to lower their standards.
Yeah. He put on that sweater, got in front of the fireplace, and told us to turn down the heat. Don't buy the gas. We had gas lines and shortages, and we had 13% inflation, and interest rates for home loans were at 22%. It was a terrible time. I was a little boy, but I will tell you this: he did nothing. And he managed the tennis courts. He was focused on who would use the tennis courts at the White House. He got a bad bash for that. He kept that tennis court list on his desk and managed it personally. He was a micromanager, very brilliant man, if you know his background, which was farming, but he was essentially a nuclear scientist. He was an amazing man, but a good man, as we can see from when he left the White House.
He was a lieutenant in the army as well. A lieutenant.
He was a wonderful person. He was a terrible president, but it's because he did nothing. Now
I didn't know that he used to micromanage who used the tennis court.
Look it up. I'm sure it's all over the internet. The fact, though, when I said Joe Biden is the worst in my lifetime, that's because he did a lot, and he got a lot accomplished, and all of it bad. And Joe Biden was a good liberal, but we now know, it's revealed, it's indisputable. It's not an opinion, it's empirical fact. He was not in control of his White House. His staff and other outside consultants were, and they made all these decisions to really sabotage America, because they are in fact dangerous leftists, and some were terrorists. I'm gonna repeat it so it's not, it's not cavalier. Leftists and terrorists ran our country. Not good liberal.
Were you ever concerned with Reagan and his wife was into astrology?
No, that was Joan Landers, Ann Landers, the astrologist. That was controversial back then, but I was very much into astrology. As a kid growing up, I read Linda Goodman's book. That was the definitive book on astrology.
We're not talking astronomy. We're talking astrology.
Yeah,
voodoo.
Yeah, voodoo. Well, there may be something to it, Archie. Look, the planets line up. God created the universe, and certain things happen for a reason. And there may be something to astrology. There may be some factual realities.
Now,
And she was
that's the most ridiculous answer. If that was a Democrat, you'd be slashing them. Of course.
Look. She was more importantly, she was not. She was the gatekeeper of Ronald Reagan throughout the entire presidency.
Who was the greatest first lady of the White House?
Well, in my lifetime, I it might have been Barbara Bush. She just did so much. Some first ladies don't do a lot. The current first lady is very focused on some very narrow projects, and she makes very few public appearances. Whereas other first ladies, particularly the two Bush first ladies, there's two Bush presidents, they really took the lead and did a lot of wonderful things. The most famous had to have been Betty Ford's Just Say No to Drugs. Just say no. That was her motto that has taken off around the world. She got addicted to pain medication, recovered, and decided to help people. Now, Bill Clinton's first lady caused all sorts of trouble. Bill Clinton was a good president, worked with Republicans and Democrats to balance budgets, reduce taxes, cut government waste. I mean, he was a good president. He was a conservative Democrat.
Yes. You think he was good? You actually like a lot of Republicans hate Clinton.
Well, we have to hate him for personal stuff. You have to do what you do in politics. Back then, they attacked him for the girl stuff. There was a lot of women. But look, he got elected despite the affairs. And then once in the White House, he has what is apparently two affairs. One was a woman who alleged rape, but I don't believe the story. And then one is the consensual activity with the intern.
Yeah. It's kind of sad that those things had to come out because it's really not anyone's business.
It really, I think people argued, it was, but I think all of that is. Now if you go on the internet and you search the JFK stories that never did come out, they're well documented now because all of the girlfriends spoke out. And he apparently was having, it was on the verge of orgies in the White House, really. Group activity, not in the open. And Jackie was up there yelling, and the Secret Service was protecting him, and right there in the White House.
Yes, crazy. Was he a good president, Kennedy?
Yes. Well, he didn't have a long enough time to do what he planned, but from all accounts, he was. If you watch his speeches, he did one speech before the New York Economic Club, and if you listen to that famous New York speech, I think it was the Economic Club or the Council on Foreign Relations or some big international New York-based group. This economic speech he gave could be given by any great Republican. Now, Donald Trump can't give a speech like that. He just incapable of giving a policy wonk speech. Donald Trump is not a salesman. He couldn't sell ice in the desert. I mean, he is a deal maker. He is a negotiator, but he can't explain stuff on a salesman level. And therefore he loses a lot of people for that. And
do you think he will have another term, or that's impossible to have another term? Because you can normally only have 2 terms in America, can't you?
only have two terms. But look, with this president, nothing surprises me. Steve Bannon, his closest advisor, just the other day on a major interview source said this president will run and he will win the next election. And then when pushed, how do you do that considering the constitutional language prohibiting it? He has a very esoteric explanation. Now, I'm a constitutional scholar. I looked at the Constitution. I can think there are some scenarios. They don't make quite sense, and there's some loose ends to it, and there would be a Supreme Court needing to fill in the blanks.
For God's sake, you starred in Malibu Beach vampire movies. I mean, if anyone can explain it, it is you.
That's right. So imagine if he became, you can't be elected vice president, but imagine if he became, I'm sorry, you can't be elected president a second time. You can't run. But imagine if he became vice president. And then the president was to step down, be declared by the cabinet incompetent.
Could he do that?
Be appointed, be selected. Our president and vice president run together, and the vice president is selected by the president of the United States as a running mate. So who
has there ever been a vice president who was previously a president?
No. Oh yes, Joe Biden was vice presidents become president all the time.
1 minute. I'll just pick one.
Yeah. Are you leaving? Well, it looks like Archie has left the room. We're going to take over the show anyway, right? Well, I'm Marcus Allen Frishman, and you're not. And this show started because Archie asked me if I wanted to do weekly shows, and here I am giving.
Sorry about that. I'm back. Yeah. Sorry about that.
I'm just explaining the nature of the show. Yeah.
So, did a president ever serve as vice president? You said Joe Biden.
Yes, many have served as many presidents. Many vice presidents have served as presidents, but that's not.
No, but I mean, have many presidents served as vice presidents after?
No,
never.
No.
Normally, they leave office, don't they? They leave office.
Yeah, they leave office, work on their library and whatever the hell they do. Speaking of libraries, there's the Obama Library being built. It is the most hideous. I mean, it is just so ugly. Archie, you should find pictures of the Obama in progress building library and take a look at this. And you'll go, what the heck? That is the ugliest. Because libraries, I'm in Southern California. So the Reagan Library is within 20 minutes of where I'm at. The Nixon Library is about an hour away. And there are a whole bunch of libraries. I've been to the JFK Library, which is a gorgeous glass-like building overlooking a view.
Why do they like to build libraries? Why do ex-presidents like to have libraries? Can I ask you that?
There it is. That shit. Well, it's a thing. You take all of your papers, which you're allowed to take, and put into this library. They are beautiful. The Ronald Reagan Library is like a ranch, and it's in the hills of Simi Valley. It's gorgeous. But look at this monolith here. It looks like something that some space alien would have built in the middle of the desert.
I don't mind it. I'm sorry. I like it. No, it's okay. How many floors is it?
I have no idea. To me, it looks very odd, particularly from other angles. You picked a very favorable angle. I can see that one. It's in the process of being built, and they're having there it is. Look at that. They're having a budget crisis. I don't know what the hell that's about. But I'm sure the library of President Trump will have a lot of gold on it.
Yes. Yes.
He loves gold. He really
Yes.
spruced up the White House to make it look very gold and royal, very royal.
They knocked down that other section, didn't they? They knocked down a section.
Look, in the White House, I've been to the White House many times. The White House, believe it or not, has no place to put on a party. They do it, but they set up a tent on the lawn. And if you ever notice, the president does these this president doesn't do it. He does it in the Oval Office. But many of the presidents did their press conferences often on the Rose Garden. Well, Mr. Trump just paved over the Rose Garden. He kept some roses, and so he could do a proper event there and not have people sinking into the muddy grass, the turf. And then he's building a beautiful ballroom where it should be built. There is a ballroom at the White House. If you get the tour, it's a very small room. I mean, it's embarrassingly small. Donald Trump is not known for state dinners. He doesn't really do them. He may have had.
He had that one with the Saudis.
It wasn't really a state dinner. When he invites these leaders over, and if they do a sit down, it's very small and it's intimate. But all previous presidents, all of them, do what's called state dinners, and they set up the tent. That's how they do it, and they invite 400 people. He's never done that.
Apparently, the president has to pay for all the food services for himself.
For himself, he gets a bill. It's very much discounted because it's just above costs. So whatever they buy, they inventory in the White House. They also they have an accountant essentially in the kitchen, and a bookkeeper of sorts, and every single thing is separated. He has to pay for it. The only thing the president doesn't get billed separately for not the only thing. Let me just say that may be the only thing he gets billed separately for, because a president can, and all federal officials can use jets for personal use, personal vacations, personal trips, because of security reasons, right? Anything related to security. Yeah. But this is eating in the White House. So yeah, he gets the bill at the end of the month.
They always suffer sticker shock, I've been told, when they get their first bill.
Yeah, because they don't the first bill, because they don't realize how they've abused it. I've read those stories.
Yes, sticker shock on the food.
Yeah, well, there's not much sticker shock for good old Trump. He loves fast food. So they go out and get burgers for him at McDonald's regularly, different McDonald's in the area. And they have a system set up to reheat it so that it doesn't cool down and stuff. He loves the Big Mac combo. He eats it multiple times a week.
Very interesting. The Trumpster. You got to love the Trumpster.
You got to love him because he's so genuine. Is that a good word for him? I would say he is so genuine. Yeah, and that's because there's a lot of stuff I don't like, and I have to get past it. You have to get past that if you have any belief that he has good policies. Many people can't get past the personal issues.
Tell me this there. Barack Obama, did you think he was a good or a poor president?
A very bad president. Yeah. I think the last good Democrat was Bill Clinton.
Jimmy Carter.
Well, as I say, he didn't do much. He was harmless.
Yes.
We would list him as a bad president by virtue of not doing anything.
What's your view on Pelosi? What do you think of Pelosi? She's come out very nasty. She's been very nasty.
She's a very nasty woman. I mean, she rips. You saw her ripping up the president's State of the Union speech behind him. They hate each other. That's just terrible. She is so nasty. Thank goodness she's no longer in charge of anything. Look, he can't get past he can't get past the lies. It would be better if the Democratic Party would go after him on things that are truthful, that are worthy of criticism. There's plenty there, but their strategy is not to do that. Their strategy is just to lie.
I think part of Biden's problem was he came to power so late. He was too old.
He ran so many times.
Yes. I was more of a McCain. I was a huge fan of McCain.
People loved McCain. I met him once coming to San Diego. For some reason, he landed from a helicopter. It must have came from LAX, from Los Angeles or something. I don't know. And we had to pick him up because he was a speaker at a fundraiser that my old boss in the legislature.
Yeah.
McCain was a very nice man.
I remember there was a function where McCain was asking questions of the audience, right? And this person said some really horrible shit about Obama.
I saw that.
And McCain said no.
You're wrong. You're wrong about him. Well, what they said was he wasn't born in America. He was a Muslim.
Yeah.
And he said, no, he's not a Muslim, and he was born in America. You're wrong. And, but that goes back to the days when you could, Trump really pushed that issue of the fake birth certificate for years. Trump likes to poke the bear. He likes to do things for reaction. He does less of that now as president. But
what do you think is going to happen after Trump? Let's be honest, okay? It seems unlikely he can have a third term, okay? It seems unlikely, okay? Okay, let's be realistic.
Very unlikely.
Is America going to go back to normal after he leaves?
It's a very good question. There is possibility that one of the Trump family members could run and get elected. Ivanka, she's the smartest. People love her. She's a woman. She could run. His son, is Don Jr., is not him. I don't know if the voters will like him. So we will see.
But let's face it, like Trump has said, he wants to bring a lot of industries back to America. The problem is, if you're a big business, if you haven't manufactured these things, the problem is, it's very difficult for big businesses to suddenly start building factories here, because as soon as the next president comes in, they're going to reverse the decision on this, and they're going to no longer be competitive, are they?
They're not following that risk. The immediate risk is, if you do not do this, you are going down. You're finished as a business, as an international business. You won't be able to do. He's made them an offer they can't refuse, and therefore they are coming in droves. We are making trillions and trillions of dollars on this, and it's good for the American economy. And we're going to hire. It's already happening. Look it up. You'll see the list. It's massive, and all the deals he's doing. I mean, he's making deals with. There is so much going on to enhance and strengthen the American economy. It's hard to keep track of. But in a year or so, we're going to have a sense of this. Because there'll be certain reports from the Commerce Department and the Treasury Department, but so far so good. Because he threatens them. They have no choice.
Tell me this, what's happening with Miss Winkle and yourself?
Well, she's in Florida. I'm here. And
because you went down to see her recently.
I did. Things were well, but only 3 days. I stayed 3 days there.
Have you invited her to come and stay at your new place?
I cannot, because of the nature of her work and schedule. She doesn't have length of time. I have to time this precisely, an arrival that maximizes my visit.
Do you think that relationship has got a future, or it's petering out?
No, I don't think it's petering out. I think it's leveling. There she is, right there behind me. No, it's leveling out, but I'm not too concerned about it. because it's not exactly going the way I wanted to, because she's not concluding her work. I can't move to Florida. It's kind of a stalemate. So
Have you asked her, I want you to come and live with me? Have you said that to her?
Yes, but in Florida, she has a job and a contract. Look, if I wasn't so particular, we would be living together happily ever after. I want a woman that's going to make a living. I want her to support me. I want her home at night. And right now, that is not the case. That can't happen. So that is a very specific need on my side.
We've got Black Cat 997, $2 trillions. Come on, Mav.
Yeah, Black Cat, look it up. Now, California doesn't experience the golden age of Trump. We're insulated. California would be the fourth wealthiest economy of the world if it was a country. It's ahead of it's behind America, but it's behind Japan. It's Japan. I don't know what order it is. Japan, Germany, the United States, China, California. All right. It's powerful. It's completely insulated itself because of the ridiculous socialist, leftist, high tax policies. Our gap around the country in America is between $2 and $3+ a gallon. In California, we are approaching $6. Food costs in California are astronomical, while costs of food are dropping massively, have dropped. They're already dropped all over the country. Few exceptions, certain cities, certain states. Again, the insulation, because of the United States of America and the concept of the statehood, can insulate you from the golden age of Trump for a period of time. California is importing its gasoline from the Amazon. It's oil from the Amazon. We're singly the largest polluter in the world because of that. Yet we claim we are climate friendly because we've shut down our refineries. I think we shut 26. We have 3. So, and they were funding all of California and some other local states. Now we have no ability to take care of ourselves in California due to Democratic policies. We now buy from the Amazon and pollute massively now because no one's measuring it, because you have to ship all that oil and gas to California on a ship. You have to destroy the Amazon to do it. So just a bunch of hypocrites. If we were producing oil and gas in California like we used to, we would not be polluting like we did, like we are now. And somebody would be countering.
How are you going to make sure you've rented your place out? How are you going to make sure you get a good tenant? Have you got an agent who's looking after the property for you?
Well, we have quite a system for that here. You know, when you rent a place to tenant, you're going to have a full background check. Well, okay, let's do it in reverse. So I wanted to rent this apartment and move out of my 12-room, 4-bedroom, 3-bath home in Porter Ranch, California. And I came here to a lovely, smaller community apartment by the beach, near the beach. There's a 17-page background check. I mean, I read this thing and I go, why?
Did you have to disclose? Did you have to disclose Malibu Beach vampires?
You don't have to disclose anything. You just give them your ID and they do a background check. They check your criminal record. I had no criminal record. They check your civil record. I had no civil record. They checked general background, which goes into various social media stuff, and made note of reality of that. And then they check your credit. It was more information there on my background on the credit. I had no idea. I had over $300,000 in available credit lines on credit cards. I didn't know the number, but they did. And that was a surprise. And he only avails of a few thousand a month of it, and then he pays it in full. I read they have an analysis, and then they check to see if you're on the no travel lists. Anyway, the point is there was 4 or 5, and they do an FBI check, a local police check. I mean, They do court records nationwide. They do the sex registry. It was all listed in 17. I'm sure I'm not covering every category. 17 pages. I can hardly believe it. And you pay, I think I paid $35. Had to pay for that. Can't imagine that was only $35. And then you get cleared for rental, among other qualifications. You have to have 2 or 3 times income. So if you rent an apartment anywhere in Los Angeles, depending upon the designation, it's going to be 2.5 to 3.5 times rent. If you don't have that income, doesn't matter what your background and credit is, you're told no. You'll never be allowed to pay rent in advance, because in California, if you pay rent in advance, it means you've paid and they can't get rid of you. They can't evict you. First of all, it's very hard to evict anyone that doesn't pay rent. Anyway, they don't need any more problems, so they'll never take your money in advance. I tried to pay in advance just to avoid paying over time. I said, let me pay a year in advance. Oh, no, we don't allow it. And we got into the discussion. They explained this to me, and it's there in all these background policy, footnotes. So when I rent my house out, I'm going to go through the same process. I've contacted a broker. I'm going to ask for 3 times, which is somewhere between the 2.5 and 3.5, 3 times income. I'm going to make sure they're fully, vetted, because Archie, I moved from Calabasas, where I grew up. I owned property there. I owned a house there, and I kept it. I didn't sell it to buy my property in Porter Ranch. I ordered my property built to order in Porter Ranch in 2004. I kept my property in Calabasas and became a renter. I was so proud of myself. I visited my property 11 times, providing improvements that they would never expect me to do. I did the carpets, I repainted, I did all these things that, because I rented as is, and then surprised my tenant with all these wonderful improvements with her permission. Archie, she never paid me again. She gave me my deposit, she moved in, and never paid the rent ever again. And I didn't use a broker. I just advertised. I did a credit check.
She never paid again. So what happened then? What does that mean?
I had to evict this poor lady. She was making a lot of money. The reason I picked her is she was making $12,000 a month. My rental, I think, was $3,200 a month. So
why didn't she ever pay? Did you ask her? Why don't you just pay the rent?
They were a bad moral background, moral people. She didn't work. She was fully in debt. But I rented to her because she cried in the interview. She had 3 children, and I verified the income. She was divorced, and her husband was paying half of that $12,000 to child support, half of it to spousal support. And guess what? It was a court order requiring his company to pay it. I talked to the personnel director. That's how I verified. Yeah, we are ordered to pay her, and that order has a 2-year review. Oh, okay. I feel real comfortable then. She's making $12,000 a month. She had no bills. She owed it, So I thought she was a good, and she was. She became financially qualified, but she wanted to scam me. Essentially, that's what it was all about, a scam. When I evicted her, she fought the eviction. She fought the eviction with the truth, meaning she had no legal defenses. She never said, this guy doesn't fix the air conditioner, or my kids didn't have water, or whatever you could make up to screw me. She didn't do that. She told the truth, but she responded with every moment of the court response. That lasted 9 months. It takes 9 months to evict someone in Los Angeles.
Did she damage the place when she left?
She left in a mess. In other words, she abandoned her property. I called her and I said, now that you've been evicted, now that you've moved, your stuff's still there. She all her kids' stuff, some valuables, things. I said, you have to come get it. I will let you have 10 days to come back. She never responded to that. And eventually I hired some people to trash everything but one thing that I saved of hers, and I sold it. Some sort of sewing machine that had value. I sold it. Someone for $100, and very sad situation. I vowed I'd never be a landlord again. And who told me to do this? A very wealthy landowner, very wealthy. Marcus, do you need to sell your home to buy your next home? And I said, no. He said, you should be like me. I'm a very wealthy man. I'm a mogul. I have apartments, and I have a Taco Bell, and I have office buildings. He's very well known, if I said his name, in Los Angeles. Big name, big property owner. He said, I started with moving when I was in my 20s, and I didn't sell my house. I rented it, and that's what you'll do. And then you'll buy another property. So it was terrible, just terrible. And then, of course, that property was sold. I got out of it. I didn't want to be a renter, but this time I'm going to do it differently. This time I'm not going to let tears affect me. I'm not going to be.
You should get an agent to manage it for you.
No, I found someone. They'll do the whole thing. I'm going to have.
Why don't you get the person who gave you this place to rent your place out? They seem pretty thorough.
Say that.
The people who rented you this place, why don't you get them to manage your place and say, you know what?
They're a very large national corporation that owns major apartments all over the country. So, and that's what California is coming to too. All these apartment buildings around Los Angeles are almost all of them are major corporations buying out the little landlords. And that's what this is. I am going to use their exact company, their investigative company that they use. I have that name, but and I have a broker that will handle it. But I don't envision actually renting it out till after the first of the year. I still have my stuff there, and I'm sending a lot of the furniture to a consignment house because my furniture has value. I have nice, really beautiful, expensive, significant furniture.
Marcus,
take a look at that armoire.
Yes, you got beautiful furniture. Marcus,
yes,
it's nearly time to wrap the show up. I want to thank our super chatters for today. Now, next week, so I'll make it an hour later than my time, okay, which is the same as your time. Okay.
I actually like this time better because now that I'm here in my new residence, I eat at the university. And the university closes at 8, so this is a better time for me, 6 o'clock.
Okay, we'll do it exactly like we did today, okay?
Excellent, Archie.
Okay, so guys, let's just thank our people. Chief Tit, Birmingham, Chief Tit, Black Cat 997, Black Cat 997. This is the show for today. As you say, Marcus, give us your line.
I'm Marcus Allen Frishman, and you're not.
Hi guys, it's ArchieLuxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David SW. David SW. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David SW. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. Keep some pride. Go to David SW. I would highly recommend David SW. If you're in America and you're looking for a watch, go to David SW. David SW.
David SW. See our